Welcome and thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel so that you get all the videos that I post. Please share and like the video. Today I will show you how to run C++ from the command line. Now the first thing you will need is to have a C++ compiler installed, which I'm just going to show you mine quickly. Version there. So C++ is installed in my compiler. Second thing, you will need to have a source file, a C++ source file with your source code. Now what I want to try to demonstrate in this exercise is that irregardless of whatever IDE you are using, I will show you what your IDE is doing in the background, which is just compiling code and producing a.exe which your operating system can run. Now I want to use a text editor on this exercise, specifically Notepad. So I'm just going to say my source code name is test, and then obviously we need a .cpp file for C++. Now let's open that using Notepad. So there's another thing I want to demonstrate quickly to show you that what shows you errors from your IDE is the compiler. It's not your IDE. Now let me start this from main, and then I'm just going to see out a string, which I obviously need the header file iostream for that, but I will not include that so that I demonstrate the error. Now I'm just going to see out Tertiary C++. There, save this. This is what I have. See out Tertiary C++, and obviously for see out and end line we need the namespace std, but I'm just going to leave that so that we can see the error. Now the first part also that you need to understand is that with your cmd, which is your command line, you need to navigate to the folder or the directory that has your source file, which mine is on the desktop, as you can see here. Let me delete that. Okay, let's leave that there. This is my source file. It's in the desktop, so I will want to navigate to that. So cd desktop. I'm going to go inside the desktop. Now to check maybe quickly if your source file is there. With Windows, you just run the dir command, and then it will show you, it will print all of the files inside the current directory you're on, and then there is my test.cpp. So I am in the correct directory. Now let me clear that. So to compile now your source file, it just goes g++ and test.cpp. This will compile your source file, but because we did not include iostream and define the namespace for cout, it will tell you that cout was not declared. So this is the first part I wanted to quickly highlight, that your compiler is the one that's telling you what is wrong with your code, where you're making a mistake and what did you left out. So now let us go back and fix those. Cout was not declared in the scope. Let us now define our cout and end line. Go back to your source file and then include iostream, and then define the namespace for the cout and end line. Save that. Clear this again, or maybe let me just compile this so that you can see that now it does not have errors. But there's also something else I want to highlight, this compilation. So let us go to the desktop and run our cmd from here. Now you will notice that when I compile my source file, there is a file that will pop up on the desktop, which is the executable file that's produced from the .cpp source file. Now, the executable is what your operating system can run. The .cpp is the code and program that is understood by us programmers or whoever is writing the code. So what your compiler does is that it takes the source file written in C++ syntax, it converts that into your machine language, which is binary. In this case, it will execute it will convert it into a executable, which is what is run by my Windows operating system. So when I run that, you will have noticed that a.exe popped up. This is what the compiler did. It compiled my test.cpp and produced the a.exe, which is what my operating system can execute. Now all I need to do to run that is to write a.exe. Then when I run that, that's exactly what I wrote on my source code. Tertiary C++. Now there's a second part I want to show you again on this that. So there's a way of naming that file, because now once you just compile your source file, your compiler will give it a default name or whatever name that it assigns to this .exe, which in this case is a.exe. Now if you want to name that exe to your desired name or the similar name to your source file, let me delete that. Then just compile this again. Now it will be g++ test.cpp. Now there is a flag which you can use to name your executable file that will be produced from this compilation. That flag is -o. So -o allows you to name your .exe file. Now I'm going to name my .exe file test.exe. Now when I compile now, it will not produce that a.exe. It will name it test.exe. Let us see that. Compile there. Produced it. It's the same thing. So you can run it from here. Test.exe, which will show you tertiary C++, which is exactly what is written here. Now I just want to have fun with this and show you another part. Write a couple of different code. Now what I want to do now is to do a little bit of arithmetic, which I want to declare two numbers and then output the sum. And then the third part is I would want to take in user input CE, just for fun. Now what I will do is to take int num1, which is number 1, is 10. Then I will have the second number, which I will call num2, which is 15. And then I will sum those two. Int sum is equals to num1 plus num2, which is 25. Then I will say here answer is equals to space, and I'll go sum and line. Let's run this and see if we'll get answer is equals to 15. Now it's the same process. Let's delete that. Then go back to our CMD. Then in the CMD, if you click arrow up, it should bring all the commands that you have ran before. So I'm just going to click arrow up, and then it will take me to the command I've written before. Now I just want to quickly do that so that I'm fast. I don't have to type it out again. It's already there in the history. Run that. It builds .exe. Let me run the .exe test.exe. There, answer is 15. Now let us change it, put some other numbers. Let's say that's 100. That's 115. And that should give you 215. Let's see. And also, since I always delete the .exe before I run a new one, let me just run the file and then it should just update this one. Arrow up, it should give you the previous commands, and then run that. It has built our .exe. Now let us run test.exe. There, 215. So now you understand how to run C++ from the command line. This is what your IDE is running in the background, right? That G++ and your source file, which it compiles to .exe, and then your operating system runs the .exe. Now let me take in the user input now. So I'm going to declare num1, assign it to 0. Even if you do not assign it to 0, your compiler assigns int by default to 0. So I'm just going to see out a string to make it easy for me to see. Enter num1. Then I'm going to do that in the same line. Space that, and then cin, which will allow me to take in the user input. So this is a class that allows me to take user input and then assign it to num1. Then I'm going to go to num2, do the same thing, assign it to 0. Let me just copy this, paste it here, and say enter num2, and then cin num2. All right, then I have both the values now, num1, num2 from the command line. So the command line will prompt the user to enter these two numbers, then it will sum them, then it should see out the sum of the two numbers again. Now let us go and compile our code. Let me clear this. So it's still the same command, arrow up, gives you that command, run. It has built your .exe, arrow up, there's your text.exe, run. So as you can see that it stopped now, it's not running all the num2 and the sum because it's waiting for the user to enter the two numbers, or maybe the first num, which is num1. Now we'll put in 10, just like the previous two numbers we had, and 15. This should give us 25. When you run, the answer is 25. Now when you run it again, it will ask you, last time I think we had 100, then you had 115. Enter, it's 215. You can run this all day long. 1000 plus 35, that will be 1035. So that is how you can run C++ on the command line. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.